Curtis, K-I-Wire.
Oh boy. We were only a few days after the 3-pack of ass drop. I mean, the 3 albums from Drake drop. We were only a few days out. And there's already controversy circulating around it. And this one comes via someone we've been very critical of in Spotify. Now, Spotify went on record on Twitter and they made this announcement. May 15th, before the day had even been fully reported. This is a very important detail. Before all the numbers had been accounted for and the day changes over, they reported on May 15th, Iceman became Spotify's most streamed album of 2026 in a single day. And Drake became the most streamed artist in a single day in 2026 so far. For most of us that don't value our music by metrics, this means nothing. But for a group of OVOers and owls who have been getting the bird shit kicked out of them for the last 2 years, I need a magazine.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
This feel like one of them. Congratulations. Oh, let's hold off on that. Because here's the problem. When you live by the numbers and you die by the numbers, there's always somebody who's going to be looking at your numbers under a different type of microscope. A day later, they walked it back. They said the initial reviews, the initial streams, yeah. That review process was completely manual, was completed manually. That's news to me. I thought it was an automated system. The initial streams review process was completed manually, resulting in streams from 2 different albums tracked being combined.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm
2 different album tracks being combined is how they came to that number. I know you lying. I know you lying. I just, you lying. Stop, don't do that. Don't do that. Drake continues to hold the record for most streamed artists and album in a single day. We apologize for the error and have implemented updated review procedures to prevent similar issues in the future. Keep in mind, this is an announcement that was made on a Saturday. When they tell an independent artist and such that, yeah, ain't nobody in the office. I'm sorry, we can't get nobody to come take care of that. I'm sorry, nobody's in the office. Isn't that odd? It's almost like they might have been feeling pressure from someone or something that needed to see those numbers be massive. Dare we say Drake? I don't know. We never know. To get more details on this, I like this caption that kind of laid it out. It says, Spotify just had to walk something back. And it's Drake involved. His song was initially reported as the most streamed in a single day. And before that, the most streamed in a single day song was Not Like Us. Let's not forget that detail because we know he didn't forget that awful July in his life, or May, or whenever that song actually dropped. It says, but turns out the numbers were inflated by mistake. 2 different tracks got merged together into the system, making the streams look way higher than they actually were. Spotify says it wasn't fake streams, just a technical error. Got you. Still, the correction has fans debating heavy about the accurate streaming numbers, how accurate streaming numbers really are. We've all been debating that. We've all had questions. After that announcement was made, another record was broken. All 3 new Drake albums lost 50% of streams on the second day of counting on Spotify.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Nigga, 50%? What do you mean 50%? How could it be 50%? So half the people just said, nah, we good. I'm good. 43 songs, I got some other stuff to do. 50%. That ain't the only record. Oh, that ain't the only record. It says that the song that they're banking on being number 1 to break Michael Jackson's record now holds the record for the biggest drop for a number 1 song on the Spotify global charts. Not the Hot 100, which he's going to break that record. Good for him. But the Spotify global chart with Make Them Cry decreasing by 62%. It breaks a Harry Styles record for the song Aperture that was 57.8. Now, if you're bored by these numbers, I get it. Some of us don't need a calculator to enjoy our music, but this is the boy. This is the boy, and he wants all the focus to be on the numbers because obviously that matters more than the music. Looking at this glove, though, is something that comes to mind. There's a few things that come to mind. Michael Jackson is currently, obviously his estate has this movie that is about to reach about 1 billion in sales worldwide. It's doing really well. It has a lot of great reviews. That being said, though, I thought this was interesting. So it says that Drake now, of course, he had the drop off and whatnot. But look what happened in a matter of that movie buzzing. Michael Jackson, Billie Jean returns to #1 on the global Spotify charts 40 years after its release. Oh my gosh.
I have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
My question is, what did you do? Hey Drake, what did you do? What voodoo doll is involved in this process? This not kind of crazy to you? Michael Jackson ain't never admit he wasn't even here for this. And he just enjoyed this. It says the classic hit dethrones Drake's Make Them Cry, which suffered the biggest single-day streaming drop for a rap song released this year, losing 8 million streams. If this don't feel like sit your ass down, Karma, what do you think it is? Why does this keep happening to you? Remember when he was beefing with Kendrick and all of a sudden the embassy toilet started flooding? You know, the same ones I'm assuming that played California Love every time you flush the toilet? Why does always everybody hates Drake? Why does this keep happening to you? You can't cheat the system. Speaking of Michael Jackson, I've been curious how diehard. I grew up, I was a diehard Michael Jackson fan, but admittedly so, as the stuff started going different direction, I wasn't as diehard as I was in the Moonwalker VHS days and whatnot. For those who never stopped being a diehard Michael Jackson fan, I saw this post here on Instagram that I thought was really, really interesting because why the all of a sudden love affair with Michael Jackson's glove? Buying his glove is what Drake did. This all of a sudden love affair is so interesting, especially when you remember, didn't Drake use Michael Jackson as part of his weaponizing of Kendrick and his family dynamic? Let her tell it. She says, treating Michael like trash until he helps you sell records. Where did this love affair come from? Well, in 2018, Drake featured Michael Jackson on his album Scorpion, using previously unreleased vocals from the King of Pop on Don't Matter to Me. He performed it at every show of his American tour, when Michael was convenient, Drake held him close. Leaving Neverland comes out in 2019. The accusations against Michael Jackson explode across the media. Mind you, this is 10 years after he's already passed away. Drake quietly removes Don't Matter to Me from his European set list. It says here, Drake simply erased Michael from his shows. When Michael became inconvenient, Drake threw him away. May 2024, you remember this date, Drake released Family Matters Against Kendrick Lamar and uses Michael Jackson as a weapon. Michael was praying his features would change so people would believe that he's actually white. I get it. You're actually Mike. He used a hurtful myth about Michael Jackson that he lightened his skin to appeal to white audiences as a diss track ammunition. The man who filled his pockets with Michael's voice reduced him to a racist joke when he needed him to win a rap beef. Has a history of throwing people under the bus, don't he? In May 2026, Drake releases Iceman with a cover centered around a glove of Michael Jackson's, the symbolic glove of Michael Jackson, the same man who erased him from his set list, the same man who insulted him with the racial stereotypes. Now he needs him again and exploits his symbolism. For Drake, Michael Jackson was never an inspiration or an icon to respect. He's a tool to him and used and discarded whenever it's convenient. Is that right? Speaking of bad timing, a lot of things happened after the announcement of Spotify. This was really interesting. On a random weekend when most of these accounts are probably only retweeting or planning for posting on a Monday, the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA, put up this post. Streaming fraud. What is it and what can be done to fight it? We can stop streaming fraud if the music community comes together with meaningful and sustained action. Hashtag end streaming fraud. Hey, I'm for that. Weird timing. What could have possibly inspired such a statement? Why are we getting education on what streaming fraud is? I don't know, but let's go along with it. It says here, it is the creation of fake plays of tracks on digital service providers, DSPs, which does not reflect genuine fan engagement. It occurs when fraudsters exploit gaps in the supply chain, including onboarding process and music platform protections. Okay. Criminals upload tracks via distributors and deploy armies of bots to create artificial plays of those tracks to generate income. Okay, we knew about this because streaming services pay rights holders from a finite pool of revenue. Income is therefore being diverted from legitimate creators who attracted users, subscriptions, and advertising to the platform in the first place. Once again, odd timing. This was also another explanation of the rarity of Spotify, saying flat out, hey, this was an error due to some manual counting. Nigga, who is in there counting voting ballots? Who is in there counting streams? Licking their finger between. That's one. Did I mix two albums together? It's such an odd explanation of what that post was. Somebody who's been another critic of Spotify has been an artist who was actually, I believe, in court with UMG based upon some things related to streams. JoeCat had this to say, and he kind of explains it for those who are still lost.
Spotify almost never issues back-end procedural statements on accounting issues on a Saturday. To me, this proves that the machine is in an absolute state of damage control. For years, these music monopolies have defended their data systems by claiming that streaming metrics are untouchable, purely automated, objective algorithmic black box. But Spotify just used the word manually to describe their stream review process for this specific rollout.
Why this one? Because he needs a max ween. What makes this one so different? Boy, that's why that man was in there crying and hugging other men underneath them Toronto fireworks. He was like, we finally did it. We finally did it. We gonna show them. He ain't even hurt me.
Allow me to explain what this means in very basic English. They just admitted on a public timeline that human hands are actively manipulating, adjusting, and reviewing the dials behind the curtains.
No.
And as much as nobody likes to be labeled a whistleblower, I have active IRS and Financial Crimes Unit TCR codes against Spotify, currently in court in my cases, which I also filed a declaration from Chad Arrington, the same person, the same independent artist that they put in prison for multiple years for these exact behaviors. Bots. I always say only independent artists go to prison for bots.
Well, no worries, because Drake burnt down he burnt down the bot farm. He burnt it down. It's in a music video. That's how you know it's real. It's in 4K. He burnt down the streaming farm. How he had the coordinates of where it's at, Batman burned it down. Everything gonna be okay now, independent artists. Drake got our back.
Why is there selective prosecution of independent artists, but corporations can just inflate their numbers all day? They can overvalue their companies and nobody's committing securities fraud. Why don't they report this to their investors? It makes you wonder. Think about how advanced this infrastructure is supposed to be. They can ingest 43 songs and simultaneously distribute to almost 90 million monthly listeners.
Oof.
Yet we are supposed to believe that their system randomly combined millions of data points across separate album files.
They made a oopsie. Oops. Sorry, BTS. Oops. And trying to run that play with a group like BTS who has a fan base that they like an army. I think it's called the BTS Army. They literally, like an army, will hold streaming parties to ensure that the support is there. That's not the fan base that you want to try to pull that off, because they're gonna have some eyes on what you're doing. Not to mention the already increased eyes on numbers because of how much Drake and his fans are obsessed with those said numbers. And let me just say this: any artist that folks are a fan of, you want to see them succeed in every place that their name is present, right? We've celebrated seeing Kendrick's numbers and the Clips numbers. We've celebrated that, but not as the main thing to celebrate. It's more so like, damn, that's dope. It's having a ripple effect in other places. But no matter what's happening out there, it's already been validated here. We already respect it for what it is once we listen to it. But for them, you got folks who just I need a magazine.
And their immediate defensive pivot, where they have to remind us that Drake still holds the record for the most streamed artist and album in a single day. Why would a technical glitch apology include reassurance about a commercial record? And it's just a coincidence that Kendrick's song Not Like Us was surpassed by Drake's Make Them Cry by barely 100,000 streams. Oh, okay. Clearly, I'm just one person. It's not like I want to do it alone, and corporations thrive on that fact. But if you know somebody that's affected by this, you should share it with them.
You know what? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, because this is obviously an independent artist that is giving you information, especially that is relevant to other independent artists and fans of independent artists. But speaking of independent art, you know who loves independent art more than us DIYers? You know who does? Drake. You didn't know that? I mean, let me put you on game. 1900 Rugrat, I believe is what this gentleman's name is. He was on the XXL Freshman. We had a good time watching that video and scratching our heads at what the hell we were listening to. Well, you know, Drake always stays tapped in on what's happening because he needs to see who he can collaborate with next. 1900 Rugrat press play on Iceman and say, hold on. Why does it sound like me? What?
So I got a story time because I just listened to Iceman and Drake. You got me fucked up, bro.
The layers of cosplaying here has got me sick. Boy, I'm sick.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
The levels of cosplay here have got me sick to my belly. This shit is amazing. It's like watching. It's like you see them paintings where somebody draws a person inside a picture, inside a picture, inside a picture, inside a picture. I'm watching this white dude from Florida calling out Drake for colonizing. Let him cook. This is crazy.
Not gonna lie, you got me fucked up. So when I made the intro to my first album about a year and a half ago, Drake was hitting me up around the time and wanted to hear music, a Drake producer. So I sent 10 songs through and they was all finna be on my album because I didn't want nobody to steal my shit because I know how people move.
Colonizers colonizing. Colonizers colonizers. Colonizers colonizers. The colonialization of colonizing colonizers. Ain't nobody safe. Where you steal that from? I want to take it too. Matter of fact, don't even tell me. I'm going to take it from you. What?
So, boom. The one they took a liking to was the intro. Now, the intro still dropped. I said, no, you can't have this song. He wanted me on his album still. He said, I'm going to send you a verse through. Never sent a verse. I didn't give a fuck. Till I just went and listened to Iceman. And I listened to Little Birdie. And then I went back and listened to the intro of my first album. Twin. That's the only beat I've ever produced and sat there and produced. Don't rip my shit and repitch it like that, fam.
For those of you asking, why in the hell are you covering this? How could I not? Do you see the entertainment here?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm
just eating my hip hop popcorn and just watching the entertainment. This shit is insane, boy. What? He said, I just that's bullshit, twin. You can't do that shit, twin. Just watching both of these Caucasians both of these Caucasians are glitching. This is amazing. Then he goes on to share the song. Okay. Well, I'll be damned. What Drake love Florida, don't he?
Somebody gonna have to
Boy, Drake love Florida like his third home. You know, because Houston, Drake love, boy, Triple X Tentacion was locked up and said that this man was doing the same thing with the song that he had out at the time. He said, that's my flow. That's mine. What is he doing? He sure got a thing for folks from Florida, don't he? Wow. That's amazing. This Caucasian on Caucasian violence has got to stop. He ain't the only one, though. Oh, boy. What do you mean? Bro, it hasn't been a full week. It hasn't been a full week. I need a max win, even if I gotta steal it from you. Here's another artist that goes by Sunnyboyfitz, an independent artist, he's not another, but this is a independent artist who claims that Drake took from his beat as well.
What you waiting for? Put your back in it. Just a little more. Throw your waist in it.
Okay, I gotta stop this for the copyright.
What you waiting for? Put your back in it.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Just a little more. Throw your
Came out in 2025.
so seductive. What you waiting for? Put your back in it. Just a little more.
Okay, that's Sunnyboyfitz.
Throw your waist in it. Put your back in it. What you waiting for? Put your back in it.
Drake is officially the oldest nigga in the club.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
He is the old nigga in the club. When I used to go club in my 20s, I'm 40 now. When I was in my 20s, he's the old nigga in the club with the Hawaiian t-shirt that had his drink in one hand, his Russian vodka, his white Russian vodka, and he's looking like this at all the dance moves. He's like, I could do that. Puts his drink down and he says, snap your fingers and do your step. And by the end of the night, he thinks he's got it nailed and he's sweating profusely. That's Drake now. Except he does his dancing on the internet. I'll be damned. I'll be damned. Does Drake not know we got the same internet as him? Does he not know we got the same internet as him? He think he got a special Chrome? He got a special Safari? What is you doing? What is you doing? I can see you. It's like playing hide and go seek with a big idiot. Nigga, you're right behind the pole. You're too big for this. Good to know that, you know, because I see all. Wait. I see all the celebration happening on social media right now because you know what, Curtis, be fair. Be fair, Curtis. You're being biased. Okay, Curtis, I need you to report this from both sides. All right, document the right history, Curtis. I got you. Here's some OVOers. And they were all inside of a Twitter Spaces. And one of them made an announcement about what they should do to ensure that Drake keeps or gets the #1 spot because for some reason they feel nervous after seeing those numbers drop off by 50% the next day. It's an OVO group.
So to make sure we can breathe comfortably, knowing that we got the #1 album and the #1 song, we want to make sure we're streaming.
Did this nigga say breathe comfortably? Did he say breathe comfortably? Is Drake your oxygen?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna
Breathe comfortably? Just so we can breathe comfortably. Ain't nobody here signed to the marketing team of Universal or OVO. Nigga, we are breathing as one pair of lungs? What is this we? I need a max win. Ain't no way that he said that. This shit gotta be a joke. Ain't no way. Run it back.
So to make sure we can breathe comfortably, knowing that we got the #1 album and the #1 song, we want to make sure we're streaming consistently, morning, noon, and night, as often as you can. I don't give a fuck what nobody say on this internet, bro.
For a group of people who love to call other people unks, especially if they like a certain brand of hip hop, this is the most elderly shit I've ever seen. No disrespect to my elders, but this is some elderly community shit right here. This is meeting at the town hall and saying, what are we going to do to come together to stop those skateboarders from skating around our grass? I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I need you to go out there so that we can breathe the way we used to breathe. This is the most unk shit I've ever seen. The most unk and auntie shit I've ever seen. One more time. This is just beautiful.
I don't give a fuck if they say so. To make sure we can breathe comfortably, knowing that.
Sister Margaret, did you bring the potato salad for this week's get together? Yes, sure did. And Brother Abernathy, did you? These niggas is hosting streaming parties for Drake. Well, why would they need to do that if you finally gotta, like, do y'all got time to listen to the project? You know you got 2 hours of music to get to. This is crazy, bro. I've never seen this kind of parasocial shit in my life over the last 2 years. What? I see why they feel this way. Look, I am not a fan of Pitchfork reviews. They're typically pretty terrible. But they do offer some comedic relief depending on who's writing. Peep this out. Shout out to the Mad Rapper. He shared some quotes from this actual rating. So it says Pitchfork gave Drake's new album, Iceman, 4.8. Damn. Describing the album as a buffet of humiliation, mortification, and self-serving delusion, while labeling it the longest filibuster of its existence.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
The review argues that much of the project remained fixated on the aftermath of Kendrick Lamar's battle, pointing to reoccurring themes of streaming numbers, lawsuits, industry politics, and continued subliminal shots. One passage describes Drake as mumbling insults at Kendrick through a mouthful of broken teeth. Oh!
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
I'm gonna show you how to do this, little boy. I'm gonna show you how to do this, little boy. I'm gonna show you how to do this, little boy. That's that. You know what? Pitchfork, I still hate you with all my heart, but damn it, that's right there. That's accurate. Mumbling insults at Kendrick through a mouthful of broken teeth is the most accurate shit I've ever read. While noting that Drake continued obsession with relevance and public perception, Pitchfork ultimately frames Iceman as a missed opportunity, closing the review by calling the album bleak, joyless rap that seems to please no one, least of all its maker. Damn. Well, you know if Drake is the same one that's out here supposedly borrowing songs that he has no permission to borrow from, you know he see all this shit on the internet too. Yeah, he see every single one of you. He see every single one of you, including this gentleman here who went viral.
Beat shebang. All of my ops, they dead.
Manish on the beat shebang. All of my ops, they're dead. Why do they gas me up? Where does it go? My head?
Beat shebang.
Oh, shit, I'm finna pass out. I don't know what your timeline has looked like. Maybe your algorithm's a little bit more balanced than mine, but I swear to you, it's been nothing but these type of clips. Oh, man, look, get a load of this one. Just Ant Baby said, Drake used to sing about women breaking his heart. Now he rapping about men who break his heart. Jeez.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
You guys are not fair, man. Leave Drakey Poo alone. He needs a Max Ween. So what? He rapped about Jay-Z. He rapped about Pusha T. He rapped about Kendrick. He rapped about Lucian Grange. He rapped about LeBron James. So what? That's just the life that he's having right now. That's crazy. I'm glad other people are calling it out. You know, every so once in a while we get somebody who comes through here and it's just nothing but a brand of real talk. Call me biased all you want. I do not care. I'm not hip hop media. I'm a hip hop fan that happens to be in media. Listen to what this gentleman said. I did not catch the name,
musical,
but listen to his take on this.
Icon. Drake is a musical giant. Drake got a solid argument for being the greatest of all time. It's a chart topper, record breaker. We see that. The Drake fans, everybody isn't delusional like you motherfuckers.
Oh.
He got his ass whooped 2 years ago and still crying about that shit, G. We not taking away shit that he did. We actually want to acknowledge the shit that he did and the shit that he's currently doing. He made his reputation. Nobody else. He's the one on camera kissing somebody that's underage. Ain't nobody forced him to do that shit.
Oh, yeah.
He did it with his own will. He's the one who got exposed for having ghostwriters, G. Nobody tell him to get a ghostwriter. He
Yep, that checks.
chose to do that. He's the one who sued over the defamation of his character in a fucking rap beat. He's the one who got exposed for having all type of surgical procedures done on him.
Hey, Angela, you ain't shit for this. Remember? Remember? You know the court never loved us. Remember? You ain't shit for that.
As a grown man, lip fillers, nose reduction, abs. Ain't nobody tell that motherfucker to go under the knife and get some abs, G. But it's his body, his choice. He did it. Okay, cool.
His body, his choice when described for a woman is completely valid. I understand that argument. For a grown man, his body, his choice is it's an interesting choice of words. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
But what we not gonna do is be fucking delusional and act like he's not the one who gave himself the reputation that he has. So yes, we're gonna call him a crybaby little bitch. He's still talking about some shit that happened 2 years ago.
But it happened to me. He needs a Max win.
But then y'all mad at people for talking about the shit that he's talking about.
That is kind of funny though. You gotta I don't care if you were over your fan or not. That's kind of hilarious. You got mad at people talking about the things that he's currently talking about. He's currently talking about what happened 2 years ago. How dare you tell somebody stop talking about what happened 2 years ago? Leave him alone. He's the reason I'm talking about what happened 2 years ago. Can't have it both ways.
Nigga, what the fuck is what? Drake is a musical icon.
Oh boy, oh boy. They keep coming in. I have been very curious how the women have been feeling, or how some of the women have been feeling about old Drake Keisha. And I thought this perspective was quite interesting, and I wanted to share it here with you.
I really don't think that this is a controversial take.
Superstar Bree on TikTok.
But I think Kendrick Lamar actually literally did shift something, because I feel like a lot of people are starting to realize Drake actually is not a part of our culture.
Not Like Us was not a catchy hook. Not Like Us was a declaration of the truth. How many times do those who understand, like, yeah, that's that side of thing, how many times do we have to be reminded? If anything, I think Drake is making an amazing argument for why you can't separate the art from the artist.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell
It's the same issue that I have with Kanye. You cannot separate the art from the artist. If there's things about your character that I'm like, I don't know, hell no, I can't stand on that side of things. Why would I listen to the soundtrack that has been created by the same mind? If you have all that toxicity coming out of your mouth, what changes when it comes out of your mouth over a beat? In melody, through autotune. You think the autotune cleans it up? Yikes.
Because Drake did this verse basically alluding that because he's light-skinned and because of his biracial heritage, we don't want to see him at the top. But he did some kind of wordplay where it was like, not see me at the top. Like we're Nazis.
I want to declare something, and I've heard it said before, but I'm gonna say it right now, and I don't care what controversy it gets me in. There's a difference between, because you look at me and see, oh, it's a light-skinned black male that sometimes I can't tell. It's a little ambiguous. He might be Dominican. He might be. I'm a black man. There's a difference between someone who is mixed and someone who is biracial. And I'm going to tell you right now, the issues that we have been seeing in hip hop as of recent have been the byproduct of rappers that have white mothers. Now, that's not to demonize them. That's just to say that is a different culture to come underneath. And because of the nature of those type of white women, we start to see some of their characteristics come out in the actual rappers we're looking at. So if you see something that says, damn, that shit's soft, damn, that shit is not on code with hip hop, that's because the upbringing is very different. I did not have a white mother. I had a black mother named Rochelle. It's a very different upbringing. So I see the things that I have out of common with those who happen to share this shade. It ain't the same thing. You only say all skin folk ain't your kinfolk. That is a difference that needs to be said. I can't help but notice all these MAGA loving white nationalists that happen to share this skin color. The difference between them and me and folks who are on this side of things, it's that mama situation. And like I said, that's not to demonize anybody's mother. That's not to say that nobody's mother can be on code and understand what black folks go through. That's just to say that there are certain Caucasian mothers with a very different way of looking at life. And when you pass those lessons down to a Drake, they do things like sue during rap battles.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna
Biracial and mix, completely different things. Just wanted to share that.
How sick in the head do you have to be to think that the hip hop community hates you so much because you're light skinned and biracial?
Yikes.
And then you do a Nazi bar.
Tone deaf.
That's not a normal person. Like, you're not even creating for the culture. You're creating for people that consume the culture passively.
Huh.
And I think a lot of people are starting to wake up to that, G. We don't like you just to not like you. We're not mad at Chris Brown just because he's Chris Brown. It's because the art has not evolved, G. Your mask is slipping, dog. Like, fucking loser, man. You're a loser, Drake.
What I love about this era is that it's not good enough to sound like you're from said culture. It's not good enough to look the part. It's not good enough to wear the things that you see, the costume that you see. It's not good enough at this state of culture, especially at this state of hip hop culture, especially the state of black culture, because we've seen way too many people who can wear the costume like a professional, but they talk like an enemy. They wear the costume like a professional, but they talk like the enemy. They have the same thinking points. They're in the same tax bracket. They have the same viewpoints of society. Look at the way that they talk about the hood. Look at the way that they talk about culture being a buzzword. Look at the way that they talk about things that are like, did you grow up in the same vicinity that I grew up in? Because that kind of shit gets you punched in the mouth. But then you realize, oh shit, we're talking to people who have a very different upbringing. We're talking to people who have a very different way of looking at life. And that's why when they do things, you need to be reminded they are not like us. It may look the part for somebody that's a different race. You look at that, you say, oh, they do the same thing. They're not like us. Boy, oh boy, let it cook a little bit more. In line with some of those white nationalist beliefs, some people may have noticed on Twitter, there's been some suppression going on. But before we talk about suppression, let's talk about I need a maximum. It says Drake shares some old first reactions because he saw all of this feedback. He said, no, y'all still don't like me because I'm light skinned. That's what it is. That's what it is. He shared an old screenshot that I guess he shares every time there's a lukewarm response to his album. That response was him sharing first reactions to his, what many consider a classic, Take Care, on his Instagram story. Some of the reviews here, as it states, says things like, I agree with the review. Drake lost some respect with this one. In my own opinion, he should have backdated the release. I think his album was weak, repetitive, too much singing for me. Obviously a gangster, so effort. So he's looking at these negative reviews. It's so odd, I think, to keep a screenshot from 14 years ago.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
But your body, your choice. He shares this every once in a while that there's a negative review of his project or a lukewarm response so that he can use this, I believe, as a way to say, just you wait. We've been here before. I don't think he's really understanding where this time period is. Judge that by some of the tone deaf music that he's making that sounds like it's still from a capsule in 2022. It still sounds like the same issues that fans of his had that were very vocal about it of how the music is starting to be redundant. The music is starting to be a commercialized product. The same things that Yasin Bey said that they tried to attack him about. Look at the skews. Great music to shop to. He seems to not understand that this is more than just, oh, this is a Drake hate train because of the battle. No, this train has already been heading down these tracks. Continuing on, let's talk about some of the suppression that's going on. And I can't put this all on him, but I do think it's interesting timing that it seems to be more UMG led, that hundreds of X users, Twitter users, speak out after posts about Drake's album were allegedly taken down by UMG. That includes not just music that they have the right to take down because they have the copyrights, but that includes viewpoints that they don't agree with. Oh. Including this particular artist and this particular producer. You might have seen Spectre before. Spectre does these mashups, these really classic, great mashups of one song from one era, another song from another era. He said, for the first time in this account's history, several of our mashups were just taken down via a wave of copyright complaints. This wave of complaints did not just affect my account, it also took down videos of people reacting to Iceman, and even posts of some of Drake's biggest fan pages promoting and appreciating the album, shown in the video, which is why I feel like that's more probably UMG's behind that. False copyright strikes like this lead to accounts on this app being unfairly suspended, probably demonetized, hoping that everyone is able to get these retracted regardless of our history. Well, why would they want to go after and attack an account like Spectre? Because really, he's like another leg of promotion. This might have something to do with it. You know that god awful West Coast song, Too Hard for the Radio? I think some people heard that and was like, he killing them on that West Coast shit. And there's folks out here who understand what West Coast music sounds like and understand how watered down it sounds. For those who can't hear it, listen to what Spectre did. And this might be the reason why somebody said, take that shit down immediately, because I need a Maxine.
Listen up, it's about to be smoke. Ain't nothing but some shit I wrote.
Yes, that's Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
About a rich ass nigga that's deep in the game. They call me Drizzy Drake and I'm keeping the name. I sport Nike shoes, I got a mic to use to talk bad about you pussies, I don't like you fools. Got an Oakland show tonight, baby. My young boys from the yacht going crazy. I'm on a bridge with a
You know that cool ass unk that you got that get away with dressing young because like he really put that shit on? But then one day he went and bought them Ja Morant Jurassic Park shoes and tried to match it down to the lime green. And you like, damn, you really showing your age right now. That shit right there? This feel like when I got older and Will Smith stopped becoming cool. He wasn't like Men in Black no more. It was like, what's going on here? I like pretty girls. Wow, I'd want to take that down. Bitch, you remix my music right now and do that. I might sue you.
I pull up early to that bitch was yanking already. I said yang in the city and I really got rank. You see the
boy, that's like looking at a vulture. That's like looking at a vulture take off their Iceman chain. That's like taking the braids out of a vulture's hair and realizing the hair, what the hell kind of texture is that? This
back to the front, you getting spanked. I really blow amps for the fun of it. New out, blue diamonds on the front of it.
And even though I'm an action star, sometimes I can act bizarre. That kind of shit gets you sued. You better be careful.
He's suing.
He's suing.
He's suing us?
Why do you think he's suing you?
Wow.
He's suing the whole department for defamation of character.
That'll do it. I'm sorry, Spectre. That will get you taken down. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll be damned. Shout out to Spectre for exposing that. Speaking of exposing, oh boy. You know, one thing that kind of got a lot of traction in the midst of people who are being critical of Drake was how quickly the White House took this current administration that is causing hell for a lot of people. The way they took to this title, especially because of the way that they have utilized and at times abused their arms with ICE, the way they've wrapped up families and take them out of their environments, the way that they have gone against people's human rights. People have found it really interesting the way that they have taken a liking to Iceman's imagery. The name Ice. Iceman, you get it? People were already saying that before the project came out. And they released a version of his Iceman album cover that was holding up a chain that said MAGA. He didn't denounce it. I didn't expect him to because, once again, he's not like us.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Brother. That wasn't the only thing that MAGA took a liking to here. It says President Trump is going viral for dropping arguably the hardest. Wow, this is definitely a right-wing platform. The hardest Drake Iceman edit through the White House TikTok. Why is this administration using this Canadian's music to pump up its said current president? I just know you lying. Oh, look at this trailer. I can't play all the music, but I just want you to get an idea.
Iceman.
Wow. Hey, Drake, this what you want? This what you meant by Iceman? Is this what you want associated with the branding within the first week of your music? That could be problematic. Is that what you... Oh, you don't care because you Canadian. No, it don't really affect your people. That's cool? You good with that? Because, defamation of character is very important to you. You sue for things like that. You good with that? Boy, oh boy. No surprises here. We called this months ago. But he's literally this president that is causing all kind of hell and chaos. I mean, just literally today, I saw that they reversed, They reversed the forever chemicals that were limited in water. They reversed that. They're allowing some pesticides that are known to cause cancer. They're allowing that to be in the crops. There is things going on right now that are bigger than music, and this is the soundtrack to his destruction and chaos. This was interesting. Jeremy Hecht, you know that name around here. Jeremy Hecht said, man, the White House has now made 2 promos using Drake's album. Keep in mind, Jeremy Hecht is also Canadian. He says, which he hasn't denounced yet. I'd never looked at him denouncing anything, especially the same guy that walks out with Morgan Wallen, especially the same guy that was, that is friends with an Aiden Ross and all these folks who happen to be very cozied up with white nationalists. I don't expect him to denounce it. Why? Drake is no different than what Michael Jordan was doing in the 90s when he said Republicans buy Jordans too.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
I don't expect my celebrities to also be my political voices or my voices of reason. It's always a great addition. To me, there's another reason why you can't separate art from the artist. The artists that I listen to tend to be on point when it comes to these type of things too. It's what contributes to their actual art being as rebellious as it is, as being as free thinking as it is, from being the voice of the voiceless that it's supposed to be. But Jeremy Hecht has higher expectations of a Drake. He says he hasn't denounced it yet, but they thought we were crazy for saying Iceman is a tone-deaf album title in this climate. Well, somebody who finally got them Drake panties, Akademiks, says, shut your bitch ass up. Talking about a rapper needed to denounce free promo from the effing White House. I'm so glad niggas like you was out of here. Ain't no denouncing F, nigga. Take that woke shit back to the effing dot era. It's Iceman season. That might have been the loudest MAGA announcement I've ever heard. Excuse me? Talking about a rapper needs to denounce free promo, so it's free promo. And it's not out of alignment with whatever campaign that you're currently pushing. So when people criticize Drake for saying things like rapping like you're trying to free the slaves. What was it? The chains and whips reference that he made on the SZA songs and about American slaves. When you see these type of things, do you realize why you cannot separate the artist from the art? This is insanity to me. As somebody who just gave up the Badussi for a OVO chain is so blatantly yelling out, hey, it's free promo from the White House. I'm so glad niggas like you was out of here. Ain't no denouncing fuck, nigga. Take that woke shit. Presumably Jamaican, but a black man says take that woke shit back to the effing dot era. Complex, this is your number one voice in hip-hop media?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell
This is your number one voice in hip-hop media telling a real journalist that it's Iceman season and that he needs to shut his bitch ass up. That's your number one voice in hip? Okay. I was just checking because it sounds crazy to me. I saw this and I feel like this is a way to bring things home. Dog Ninja said this may be a hot take. I don't think it's a hot take, but I think mainstream hip hop has been fully gentrified, not in the faces of the artists per se, but in the concentration of power and the voice of the audience.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
I'd say it's not a hot take. We started this video off by saying 1900 Rugrat felt like his music had been stolen by Drake, a Canadian. We started this off with colonization of a colonization of a colonization. This is not a hot take at all. I'm with you, bro. This is the time we're living in. It's like looking at a neighborhood where there used to be different segments of the culture. There used to be the community, folks that are part of the community, the ones that are supporting the community centers, folks who are coaches of little league teams, folks who own small businesses. Those who are part of the HOA. You're looking at all these different segments of community. You even got some of the folks over here who happen to be part of gangs. Just like seeing all of those black faces replaced by white faces that are cosplaying the very same roles. The Little League teachers, Little League coaches have been replaced. The community activists have been replaced. Instead of, activism for the people, it's activism for dogs' rights to poop wherever they want to poop. And instead of the gangs being a reflection of the faces there, now they're white faces. This may be a hot take. Mainstream hip hop is absolutely fully gentrified. And if that's the case, next time you see a stat that talks about this is the first time something has happened since 1993 in mainstream hip hop, let them have it.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Don't defend hip hop's honor because that's not where hip hop is seen as honorable. Do not defend hip hop the next time you see it because it's going to happen. When this album takes a dive and people move on to the next shiny thing, I don't care if it's 43 songs because they move past 100 gigabytes of ass. They move past the numerous drops of butt cheeks from Drake. They have the sexy songs for menses and they moved on from those. When it happens again, do not be surprised when they talk about, man, there's something missing. It's gentrification talk. Insane. Let's take it a step further though, because I think that this that was so boldly spoken on by DJ Akademiks, who has interviewed Trump, he's interviewed Donald Trump Jr. For those who cozy up with folks who are so friendly to white nationalist talking points and beliefs, this doesn't surprise me. So what they're saying is, beyond everybody making this argument for, and I'm not sure how much of this argument is actually the people and how much of this argument is something that's been planted by a Drake into the ecosystem. But New York Magazine, I think it was Vulture.com, said the Canadian rapper is following the MAGA playbook by releasing music in a very unique way. It goes on to say this. I had never heard of this, but I have absolutely seen versions of it. It says there's a tactic that MAGA use, especially during political campaigns, called flooding the zone. It's a contemporary mode of propaganda often attributed to the thinking of MAGA political strategist Steve Bannon, which operates based on the belief that controlling the public in the digital age isn't about feeding them favorable messaging, but rather dominating cycle after news cycle by introducing so many dubious and misguided messaging that they no longer know what to focus on or how to think. Who does that sound like? I want you to rewind back to when that Anina Maxwin tour was not selling the way it needed to sell. When every single week it felt like we got a new story. He covered up his LeBron tattoo. He cut off his braids. Look, it's a picture of his abs. Oh my God, is that white ice coming out outside of his sweater? Is that smoke coming out of his sweater? Every single week it was something else, and it wasn't even about the music. That sounds like this type of news cycle, doesn't it? If Drake's first attempt at this was a failure, which the last year might have been, he's clearly had extra time to see the Trump administration employ the tactic to great effect. Because on May 15th, the artist deployed it more successfully when he released 3 albums on the same day, the long-awaited Iceman plus the surprise releases of Habibti and Maid of Honor. It says, likewise, traditional logic would have said it's incumbent on Drake to respond to all his high-profile critics to reestablish his rap bona fides. But by virtue of flooding the zone, his responses don't need to be unimpeachable. He don't care how embarrassing the things that are said about him are. He's going to make sure that he's a part of the conversation. On Make Them Remember, he raps that LeBron James made his career off switching teams up. A thin critique given Drake has faced similar criticism for hopping between regional sounds. Does it matter, or is it even true that 100 million streams of Kendrick Lamar's vanished? That was a rumor that was set off on the internet, by the way, that he rapped about and made forever now. As Drake claims on Make Them Pay, unclear. For all his talk on the album about how he won't forget about people who refuse to take sides during his Kendrick beef, the album features his friend 21 Savage, a person who refused to take sides during the Kendrick beef. What did I miss? Maybe that part. Individually, each of these inconsistencies matter. Over the course of the album, none of them do. The average listener isn't going to spend their time scrutinizing all these claims. It's too many to scrutinize. Nor would it be entertaining for them to do so. At a certain point, it all just becomes noise. It ends it off by saying, so the whole piece is about Drake settling beefs with rapper Kendrick Lamar and others. In August 2024, a few months after the release of Kendrick Lamar's diss song, Lot Like Us, Drake tried to distract the public from his humiliation by data dumping 100 gigabytes of content over the internet, which Pandya, whose theory this is, believes is straight out of the MAGA playbook.
The Iceman wasn't cracking in the slightest.
Come on, you freaky Iceman.
That's your boy. What does Trump have in common with Drake? What does MAGA have in common with OVO? That's a stretch. That's a yoga stretch. Well, both have been bodied in public beefs, Ron, and somehow still claim victory in their head.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Trump has speechwriters. Drake has ghostwriters. Both publicly flex wealth as a personality trait. Both are extremely sensitive for men whose whole brand is being untouchable. Both made careers on being victimized by people they started beefs with. Both are friends with white nationalists. Oh boy. Both surrounded themselves with yes men. Both MAGA and OVO treat criticism of their leader as a personal attack on their own identity. Last but not least, both MAGA and OVO conveniently forget things their guy did that they roast other people for doing. What an insane timeline to live in. You chose your side. And like y'all said when that album dropped, go and stay on that side. DIYers, those are the thoughts that I have. Yikes. You let me know what your icicle ass think about that. Yikes. I need a max.
DIY.
Tear in your eye.